This year, the selection committee has chosen to recognize 6 deserving individuals.
Save Luongo!
This Montreal native proved to be one of the winningest and most durable goalies in the NHL. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Roberto Luongo.
Daniel Sedins, first National Hockey League goal!
In 2011, this native of Sweden won the Art Ross Trophy. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Daniel Sedin.
Henrik Sedin scores 1,000 points!
The Canucks' all-time leader in points and assists. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Henrik Sedin.
These individuals represent not only excellence on the ice, but also the diverse and international nature of our game.
Did you ever think when you first started, when you're playing in your backyard, that you would ever make it to the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Never.
Seeing my name with some of the greats of hockey is kind of surreal, to be honest with you. It's crazy. Names that you've watched up idolizing, watched on TV every night. Names that played and they were icons that you were not even born. To be named in the same breath of those people is kind of really hasn't sunk in yet.
3, 2, 1, flip.
Hank and Danny, when I got the call, the first thing I asked was if you guys were into, because I wanted it so bad to go in with you guys. You guys had so much pressure on you every night, you know, as the face of the franchise, and you guys never deviated from who you were. You were always positive. We looked up to you, not only myself, but I know everybody in the locker room looked up to you guys.
To have the feeling at 23 of not belonging in the NHL, to be standing here now and be part of this evening, along with Daniel, Herb, Lou, Rika, and Daniel, shows what an unbelievable journey it's been.
The organization stood with us, our teammates and coaches believed in us, and yeah, we got through that time, and then things started to get better and better, and 17 years later, we were still here.
Henrik Sedin in front, on the goal line, they score! I think Daniel knocked it in!
We knew the pressure was going to be on us. There's a lot of new things for young kids.
You guys were the most fit on your teams every year. What was the core part of your training that allowed you to play so long and so well?
As you know, we were not physically ready, strong enough to play in the NHL when we came over, but I think we had our cardio and conditioning was really high, and that's what made us be able to play those early years. And I think that's how we survived as long as we did, was that our conditioning.
I always thought I was a pretty hard worker and trained really hard, and then when I went and worked out beside them, that's when I realized there's probably another level.
The amount of heat they took early in their careers, for them to kind of have the mental wherewithal just to stay with it, believe in themselves, go from being kind of questionable strength-wise, and that to all of a sudden leading all of our strength tests in camp is remarkable.
Still trailing 1-0 as the Sedins move in. Henrik towards the goal, round the net. Now centers, Daniel shoots, he scores!
As the game called for a big goal or a big play, Henrik and Daniel were there. Whether the game was a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game, they realized the importance of the moment. Their last game here, they scored in overtime against Phoenix, and it was just the perfect ending. It was like it was written by a Hollywood screenwriter.
Let's it go, he scores!
They were kind of trailblazers, I think. They changed a lot of the way the game was played, the way I'd seen it before. And you think of like specific things like the slap pass. That was something I hadn't seen before.
Maybe we weren't physically strong enough to play with the big guys, and we had to come up with other things that we could use to our advantage, and face-off play was one, cycling it down low was one. Daniel is the face-off guru. We'll bring 5 guys in and we'll run through it, and then we got the next period and run it, and a lot of times he scored, so it gave us a lot of extra goals. It always ended with me scoring though. So
They're just special players. They always knew where each other are on the ice at all times without even knowing where they are, if that makes sense. So they made plays that nobody expected, which is what made them special.
He's in a long, deep strike. Save Luongo! You better call the fuzz. Another robbery by Luongo.
We knew when he was coming to our team that we were getting an elite goaltender. We knew as a group every time we stepped on the ice we had a chance to win. That's what he gave us.
He comes in, he's already one of the top goalies in the world, and right away, you can't score on him in practice. He's super competitive, he's so long and athletic, so he has all the skill in the world, and then he has the best work ethic in the world. So you marry those two together, and that's why you have a Hall of Fame goalie. So imagine the confidence that brings our team.
Rebound, Halpern, stopped by Luongo. Oh, Bobby Lou, how do you do?
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is truly an honor, but doing it alongside Roberto makes it so much more special. You raised the standards on our team and made everyone believe that the average was never an option. We become really good friends, and when he came to our team, he just raised the level for all of us. For me, he's a winner. I know we never end up winning the Stanley Cup, but he's a winner in everything he does.
Great save, Luongo!
Roberto, you were the face of that culture. I've never been around anyone with the same determination and willingness to do anything to get better.
And he's very intense when he practices and play games because he wants to do well. He competes hard, but as a teammate, he makes people laugh around him. I go back to that group that we had. It was a special group. We had a lot of different personalities, but we all seemed to gel so well together.
Alex Edler, Kevin Bieksa, Ryan Kessler, Jannik Hansen, Alex Burrows. What great years we had with you guys. Coming to the rink was never boring. We challenged each other every day, and although we had very different personalities, we all had a team-first mentality, and that made it fun. For 4 or 5 years, we felt like we could win every game, and we had so much fun coming to the rink to challenge each other in a good way. Seeing all of this over the last few days reminded me of what hockey has always meant to me. It's about teammates, supporting teammates. It's about making friends for life, and it's about being there for others through all the ups, and more importantly, all the downs. I think when you have that great camaraderie, I think you become friends for life, and that is I think why I love hockey so much, because you get those friendships.
What is your favorite or best moment of yours?
When we beat Chicago in overtime in Game 7. If you watch the tape again after Burrows scored and you look at our celebration, you would have thought we just won the cup. Like, we were going absolutely bananas. It was crazy.
You realize how big hockey is in the city. Fans are crazy.
What I felt throughout the career is that they'll take losses and they'll take missing playoffs, but as long as they see that players put in their best performance and their best effort, I think they can buy that. They played a big part of our careers and helping us get to where we were. That things start to get better and the team is winning, and then you realize how amazing they are.
It's a sea of white here in Vancouver.
This is great. Now, if this doesn't give the players that impetus to give it everything they've got, well, then forget about it. Because look at this place. This is Canucks hockey.
All those playoffs that we went through and the white towels, and it was just amazing to be part of.
Earhart, his shot right to Henrik. He scores!
As soon as you sign with the Vancouver Canucks, I think they told you that what you do in the community is very important. It's as important as what you do on the ice.
Both from what they did on the ice, in terms of entertaining and winning and all the stuff that goes along with that, but also what they did in the community.
The team is part of the community. It is a community. Anywhere you go, that's all you see in the city. So as hockey players, we're so privileged to be doing what we love and, getting paid for it. So to give back in any way possible, and just walking into the hospitals or whatever it was, you just seemed to look on people's faces, not only the kids, but the nurses and the doctors, and they were more excited than the kids themselves. So it's just lightens up the day a little bit for them, maybe, that are going through a difficult time.
When I got to Vancouver, I quickly learned how important they were and ingrained they are in the city, and you just hear stories about how nice they were, and you hear a story about how they left the rink and they missed a fan a little kid that they weren't able to sign, and they're halfway home and they drive back, putting millions of dollars into the children's hospital but never telling anyone. I'm sure there's 1,000 more things that I don't know of or that nobody knows of, but yeah, very special people, and I think it comes from a very genuine place. They don't do it to be told that they're really nice guys. I think they just do it because they want to do the right thing.
We pretty much grew up here. Like, we were 20 years when we came, and our kids all have grown up here. 2 are born here. We're so happy that we spent our whole career with one organization. I think they became so close to us, and you felt like you owed something to this organization for sure.
I think that's what West Coast fans feel, is that here you've got 2 players who led their team to back-to-back President's trophies. And yet you have in the back of your mind, will they be recognized?
To have them recognized by people outside this market, I think it validates them, but it also kind of validates us as fans and as observers and people who care about this team. It fills the fan base with pride.
It still hasn't sunk in, I think, to be part of that group. It's not a lot of hockey players that go into the Hall of Fame, and for us to be there, I think it's going to take some time to sink in. It's surreal because I never looked at myself up there with those players, and to be mentioned with them is special. It means a lot to us as individuals. We spent our whole career with the Canucks, so it is a big thing for us, and I hope the organization is proud too.
Daniel Sedin shoots, deflected, scores! 1,000 points for Daniel Sedin!
You know, there were a lot of nights on the road where the other broadcasters would come into our booth at the end of the night and say, those are the best players we've seen this year. That's the best game we've seen this year. That was like the coolest team we've faced this year just because of what they were doing. It was really fun. It was fun.
That's a goal that we have now, is to take players and get them to the next level. If that's players up here playing for the Canucks, we can try to get them to get to another level, or guys in Abbotsford that they have a goal to play in the NHL one day, and if we can help them a little bit, that's why we come to work every day, and that's going to be satisfying for us if we can help someone.